Welcome to Telly Talk, where we talk about what's on the telly, and by that, we mean what's on our mind, because we're Telly. I am a turtle with a tattoo under his shell, named Tyler.
So a 75-year-old lizard.
Hey, he's 74.
Well, I'm 75.
Okay. You're not Adam Sandler.
I'm not. That's why I'm a 75-year-old lizard.
You win. Today, we are talking about the movie that came out last year. It is on Netflix. It is called Leo, and it is a children's musical about an iguana.
I didn't know it was a musical.
I was confused when Soul picked out this movie because they do not like musicals, and it was, in fact, children's musical.
They lied. All the clips I saw I thought it was just a regular children's movie, but they lied. The opening scene is a
I
song.
texted you, why did you choose this? You hate musicals, and you were like, it's a musical?
I didn't know.
So, the opening song was a little bad, because I wasn't expecting a musical. But after that, the rest of the movie was fine, once we got past the opening song.
Yeah.
So this movie is about a 74-year-old iguana named Leo, who is a pet in a 5th grade classroom and has been his entire life. And he realizes that he's going to die when he's 75, because for some reason all iguanas die right when they hit 75. And he's realized that he has never seen the world. So he wants to go see the world, but instead he uses the knowledge he's acquired of 74 years watching 5th graders to become their therapist and help them get through the school year by using his magical ability to speak. And he has a friend who's a turtle.
Is it magical that it can speak? Because all animals can speak.
They kind of implied that all the animals could speak to humans, and this choose not to, which was fascinating to me, that every animal in the world could speak to humans, and just no one's ever found out about it.
I feel like all the animals just don't want to get involved with humans because they've seen and they know and they heard what we would do if we found out.
You ever heard that thing about orangutans where, the indigenous people who live near orangutans have this saying that, they can talk, but they choose not to because men would make him work? Yeah, the orangutan has the power of speech but chooses not to use it lest the man compel him to labor.
That's
yeah,
nice.
It's a saying. It's a thing. Have you ever seen an orangutan? They look like they can talk. Those guys can talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it? Can other gorillas, can other monkeys talk? Like gorillas?
I don't know. Go ask them.
I'm not near a gorilla.
That's your own fault.
I don't want to be near a gorilla. Gorillas scare me.
You're right. Go to an orangutan instead. Chimpanzee?
Okay. No, chimps scare me.
I like chimpanzee. Are
you
lemurs
really
monkeys?
like chimpanzees after you watched Nope last year? That was terrifying.
I forgot about that one. It kind of left my mind, not gonna lie.
Orangutans are cool, though.
So, the first, 20 minutes of this movie was hysterical. Everything that would, after 20 minutes, you kind of understand the way this movie is designed, but the first 20 minutes, everything is new to you, and you just lose your shit at everything that happens, because it's there's children and they're singing, and then one of the boys has a drone who helicopters him, and then they get to school and the kindergartners are little goblins with an entirely different design than all of the other people.
I love the kindergartners.
They're just run around chomping on things. And then the teacher is pregnant and just randomly will take kids' food and start licking it.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was so funny. And then the turtle and the Leo are just casually talking in their tank, and I wonder how no one in 74 years has ever heard them talking, because they're talking out loud. I kind of assumed at the beginning of the movie that no one could hear them, and they were talking in animal and not in human, if that makes sense.
Maybe they are.
And I kind of thought that this movie was going to be about, Leo exploring the world. But then I had a thought about 10 minutes in that they've introduced these children way too much to just have him leave the class. They introduce us with, all of their backstories and all of their names. These children are going to be important. And then he therapizes the first little girl. And I'm like, oh my god, that's going to be the plot of this movie. He's going to, like, go through these kids one by one being their therapist. And then he did. And it was incredible.
He's also a fucking asshole for being, like, manipulative and being like, you're so special. You're the only one I talk to. You have to keep my... He sounds like a literal 75-year-old man preying on children.
Well, they did address that. Don't worry. Remember, it's only creepy if it's a human, not a lizard.
Is it, though?
Okay, so, like, at first, he had very good intentions because he did not intend to stick around. But then, so, like, him being like, yeah, you're special was just, like, him keeping his cover. And that was fine. But then he started, like, keeping it up with every single kid. And that's when it got kind of shitty. But then he apologized, and then it was okay.
But if a predator apologized, would that be okay?
He's not, he's a lizard. He's an iguana. He's not preying on children.
It's the same thing.
No, it's very different, actually, quite frankly. Yes, because he's not doing anything predatory to them. He's literally just helping them with their 11-year-old problems. I was sad that they have to go on to middle school without them, because those kids really need that lizard to get through middle school.
Well, I feel like they can now work together as the power of friendship.
Yeah, power friendship. Forgot about that one.
Yeah. Like, they're all their experiences with him, and then they can all bond with that and, like, help themselves.
One of the parts that cracked me up was that girl who talks a lot was like, oh my god, this is like that movie where the little kid wishes on a fortune-telling machine and turns into Tom Hanks and dances on a piano. And I was like, oh my god, I love that movie. Like, and she was like, I don't remember the name of it. And I was like, I don't remember the name of it either. But I know exactly what she meant, and I love that.
I think I put that on one night when I was, like, really... And I watched parts of it. Isn't that when he, like, wishes that he was, like, an adult or whatever?
Yeah.
And, like...
I, for the life of me, cannot tell you what the movie's called, but, like, yes. He wishes he's an adult and becomes, like, a 30-year-old Tom Hanks.
Isn't it, like, one word?
I don't know. I was really surprised watching this, how long iguanas lived. I don't know why. I thought iguanas maybe lived, like, 20 years. But, like, 75?
Like, parrots.
Like, this dude lived through, like, the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, all in a 5th grade classroom. Imagine watching society evolve through whatever 10-year-olds are doing at any given point. How long do iguanas live? Is it really 75?
Yeah, I think they're like parrots. Like, they live a long time.
What do you do when your parrot outlives you? Like, you have a pet parrot and then you die? Like, what happens?
Give it to your kid or your friend or...
No one's gonna want your fucking parrot.
I've seen like videos of people being like, yeah, this was my grandmother's parrot she had since she was a child. And I'm like, oh my god! And, like, the parrot's, like, literally, like, half of its feathers are gone. It looks like it's crippled and dying. I'm like, you should just throw it out at that point.
Just put it out of its misery, man. 10 minutes into the movie, my roommates and I realized that Adam Sandler was voicing the iguana.
Bruh.
And that was really exciting news. I didn't know he sang.
Really?
I don't know if I've never seen Adam Sandler sing before, but it's fitting. He sang like Adam Sandler would sing. But this movie was just fucking hysterical. Like, everything, every little detail, just everything that happened was just incredibly well comedically timed. That was a lot of words. Great comedic timing.
I don't think I laughed at anything. I think I caught, like, maybe 2 jokes the entire movie.
Dude, the bits the movie set up were hilarious. Like, the iguana moving really slowly across the wall trying to escape. Funny. There were just a lot of, like, random pop culture references. Like, the girl who talks a lot had Funko Pops in her room. And then that rich girl had photos of her family with, like, the girl from the Progressive commercials and, like, Guy Fieri. And did you see those?
No. I
You
must have
didn't-
closed my
dude.
eyes. I mean, I don't know.
No, there was this whole bit where if you look through the rich girl's family photos, it's just her family posing with really specific celebrities, like Flo from Progressive, and for no reason.
That's hilarious.
It was. Like, the movie just had so many small details in it that were just fantastic for, like, adults to watch. Like, this reminded me of Paranorman, where, like, it's a kid's movie, but it's also a movie adults can enjoy.
Yeah. This is like one of the first kids movies where I saw they use name brand products as props.
Yeah, like, what were
That
some
was
other ones?
weird.
I saw the Funko Pops, and I know there were more, but I can't put my
It
finger on
was
it. But there
Cheetos
were,
at the beginning when I was like, oh,
yeah,
haha, Cheetos. And then she pulled
it
out the
felt
bag. It was like
weird.
exactly Cheetos. And I was like, that's weird.
It felt wrong to
It
see, like,
did.
products in an animated kids movie.
It did. It was really weird. I was expecting like name brand, like vague cheese puff brand, not
No, like,
actual
it was like
Cheetos.
they had multiple times throughout the movie very specific products. And
Yeah.
okay, one of my favorite bits in the movie was the breakup with the drone, and then the drone is like going through depression and like tried to throw himself in the trash, and
Yeah.
then got out the ice cream and started eating it, and then there's just cuts to him watching through the window in like a bathrobe, really sad.
Yeah.
It was funny. This was a funny movie.
I feel like the most unrealistic parts about this movie is that the teacher got to leave while she was pregnant and not like after she had her baby. Because like American schools
Yeah,
would
like,
never let the teacher go like while they're pregnant. They would never do that.
literally,
Never.
I cannot believe, like, she was so early
Like
in her
you get
pregnancy.
9
They would
plus months off. That's crazy.
It would never happen. It would. That's fake.
Also, the way the principal or whatever told the other teachers, he's like, someone's going away for like he was telling them like he would tell the children. I'm like, why are you just tell them that she's pregnant and that she has to leave? Like, why are you doing it like you're talking to children? Like they're adults. Like just say, hey, she's pregnant. She's going on leave. Like, why are you doing that?
I really liked how they handled the plotline with the sub, because you think that when she finds out about the lizard, like, she's not going to be happy about it, but then she takes the lizard home and has like a really emotional song with him, and is like, they're like a team and everything's good. And then the next day is like when a new conflict starts, and she realizes she wants all the credit for herself, and like that's when the conflict happens. And I liked how they handled that, because it didn't follow like a traditional, more straightforward route. Like they juked you. They pulled a little trick on you.
Oh, you thought she was gonna be good? Nope. She's gonna be mean again.
Like, you thought she was gonna be bad? Gotcha, she's good. Oh, she's mean again. Oh, she had a redemption arc.
Oh my god.
I had so many thoughts about the sub, because as an education major, her entire philosophy of teaching is horribly wrong, because you can tell that she views children as people who are like empty vessels, that she as the teacher is supposed to like impart her knowledge onto them, and that is wrong. That is not how you're supposed to teach. As the great John Dewey believed, children can construct their own knowledge through lived experiences. You do not impart your knowledge as the teacher onto the children. What a bitch.
I love the scene when she was like throwing out the books, and it was like super dramatic. It would like cut from her throwing it to them landing on the desk, and then like to the lizard and the turtle like flying in the air. That was a really good scene.
I like the scene where
the scene after
like
that,
the kindergarteners are on their backpacks as they come into school with the books, and she's just vacuuming them off.
Yeah. I also like the scene that cut like to right after that, where the kindergartners were outside playing Duck Duck Goose, and the teacher was like, Goose, and then they all just fucking
demolished her.
and just like attack her, and I'm like, oh my god.
How is this sub lady going to handle a kindergarten class?
She won't.
She's gonna retire.
I feel like she's gonna learn how to be less strict, because you can't really control the kids. You kind of just have to go with
these turtles
how
and
they
lizards are gonna learn to add, which is real exciting for them.
They're gonna learn how to spell. They don't know the alphabet.
They don't know their fucking alphabet. They don't know how to add. They only know fractions and U.S. history. I was confused when they were learning about the Stamp Act, and they were like, the old teacher never taught this, because the Stamp Act is in the 5th grade curriculum for the entire country. Like, 5th grade is where you learn about that time period. Yeah. Like, the other teacher should have been teaching about the fucking Stamp Act. It's in the goddamn curriculum.
Well, they hadn't been in that grade for very long. Like, it was like 2 weeks in, and then she left. So I don't know why.
Well, no, but the implication was that teacher had been there for a couple years now, and they've been with her.
So they stay the same teacher, but like switched grades.
They stay in the same classroom for their entire lives. I think they've always been in that 5th grade classroom, and that teacher had been teaching in that 5th grade classroom for a while.
But they're new to the class. They're new to the 5th grade level, so they hadn't learned the stamp bag yet, and they had been there for like 3 weeks. So obviously they wouldn't have gotten to the stamp act yet.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I'm so confused.
The iguana said that they had the old teacher never taught the stamp bag.
Iguana said? I thought you said the children said that. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
We were arguing about different things.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the iguana and the teacher, and you were talking about the children and the teacher. That, that clears it up. Yeah. My bad. Your bad? I don't know. Our bad.
Yeah.
I thought this movie towards the end was, like, really metaphorical about, like, the life of a teacher. Like the iguana was a metaphor for teachers about how they, like, he got the meaning from his life from helping students. And, like, he's content with that. Yeah. Then I was confused at the ending, because then the ending was like, all right, we resolved the conflicts, now you're going to go to kindergarten. And there's like, did they not address, again, the fact that he's dying in a year? Because he
realized that he's not dying in a year, because the other iguanas live to like 100. And so he's like, oh, I'm like probably not going to die. I'm going to live for like more years.
I think I blinked during that scene.
Yeah.
I was really confused. I was like, why are they not addressing the fact that he's dying anymore?
It was like when he like was in the park, he like was talking with the other iguanas, and he's like, I'm gonna die in here.
I blinked for a minute. I blinked for a minute there.
He reunited with the children and was like, yeah, actually I'm not gonna die, and everyone's like, what? Oh.
I just remember him molting. And he was like, yeah, I do that when I'm anxious.
Yeah, it happened like right after that.
Did you like his mating ritual? Because I thought that was hilarious.
It kind of scared me in the way that like tryptophobia scares. Like it was like weird.
And then they kind of talked about dicks a little bit. They made that
dick joke.
They made like 2 dick jokes in the movie, like vaguely. I like the kids. I like the girl who talked a lot, and I like the boy who sounded like he'd gone through puberty already and then randomly had a really high voice.
Some of the stereotypes were, like, a little too realistic.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was getting flashbacks, and I was like, oh my god, I can't relate to this again.
No, but it was, like, kind of real. Like, yeah, that is exactly what elementary school was like. Yeah. Like, they really nailed the problems kids have when they're 10. So good. Yeah. I was impressed with the movie. I did not expect... Okay, at first I didn't think I was going to like it, and then I looked it up, and I was like, alright, this kind of has good vibes, and then it was so much funnier than I anticipated.
I was excited.
You had the opposite experience.
And then you told me it was a musical, and then I was extremely disappointed, being like, oh, I'm going to hate this movie. But then I watched it.
I feel like it shouldn't have been a musical. The songs always felt out of place.
Yeah.
Except for the drone breakup song, I can get behind that one.
I think I missed the entire montage of him going to the other kids' houses. I think I totally missed out on that. So, I like.
Yeah, I wish we got more detail of him going to the other kids' houses instead of it being a montage.
This movie was interesting in that it's like a Disney kids movie, but it's like not as annoying as a Disney movie. And like if someone were to like come over and put the movie on, I wouldn't be mad. I would passively watch it like a dad not wanting to watch. Like, you know, I'd be like the dad who like stands in the corner being like, no, I don't want to watch it, and then eventually somehow end up on the couch so involved in the movie. That's
exactly how I picture you watching this, actually.
That's exactly how I would watch this movie. And the songs were like, but like they
Like, I
weren't as
feel like this
annoying as
shouldn't
Disney
have.
songs.
That's true. The songs just didn't feel correct. Like, they never felt well paced for the most part, except for the drone breakup.
Usually you can expect someone to like sing in the next line, but I could never, like,
And
it
you just
always
couldn't
caught me
hear.
off guard.
I was just like, oh, we're singing now.
You're breaking a song. Okay, interesting, weird point to break into song, but okay, go ahead, go off, I guess.
Oh my god, the part about babies being made, that was my kid. Like, the kid where that was me in 5th grade. Because when I was in 5th grade, I didn't know a number of things. First of all, I didn't know that there was a biological difference between males and females. Like,
Yeah.
I thought for some reason until I was 11 or 12, like until like no 11, like when we like went through that in 5th grade, that the only difference between girls and boys was that boys had short hair, and that just for some reason decided like your entire life, and then eventually girls grew boobs. Like, that was my understanding.
That's
And
hilarious.
And then I get this sex book in 5th grade, and I flip the page, and I go, testicles. Because I've never heard this word before. I didn't know penises were a thing.
Boys have penises? What?
I didn't know boys had penises. I just thought for some reason they were allowed to be standing up, and I wasn't. And Katie, I hate her. She bullied me so much in 5th grade that I cried. I despise her. She was like, oh my god, don't say that. And I was like, why? It's a funny word. Testicles. And everyone was like, stop saying testicles. And then we learned how babies were made, kind of. Like, they told us that baby is made when the sperm from the man and the egg from the woman combine. And I did not understand this, because if the sperm is in the man and the egg is in the woman, how do they combine? Like, this was not explained. How did they combine? So I go home and I'm like, Mom, I understand from school that the baby is made from the sperm and the egg, but how does the sperm get to the egg? And I don't remember what she told me, but it was not an answer. She was, okay, no, you know what? I'm going to elaborate more. I'm going to tell you something even more horrible.
Roll around
Before,
and then boom,
no,
baby.
You need to understand this. I'm gonna tell you something even worse. Because I did not know about anatomy or anything until 5th grade, I obviously didn't know how babies were made. And I had some neighbors who were infertile. But because I didn't understand anatomy, I didn't have any concept of what infertile meant. And I'm like 10. And my mom just kind of tells me that, like, they can't have children. So my understanding was, like, damn, why didn't they just pray more? No, why didn't they just pray more?
Oh my god.
And I was like, this is their own fucking fault. If they would have just prayed more, they could have had a baby. God. Like, why didn't they just, like, I judged them. I was like 10. And I was like, well, why didn't these bitches just pray more for a kid? And my mom just, like, let me have this understanding. And I feel so bad about it. That's what I was thinking about when that kid was like, I have something really embarrassing. I don't know how babies are made, and everyone else does. And I was like, you know what? That was me in 5th grade.
Also,
I feel him.
That kid who just, like, knew what menopause was, no way a 10-year-old knows. A 10-year-old boy knows what menopause is?
If his mom's going through menopause, isn't that the context it was used in? Didn't he say his mom?
Like
so, like, maybe his mom's talked about it.
Bro, there's no way that man would ever understand what menopause is.
Maybe he has just a good mom who explains to him how women work.
I doubt it. Oh my
None
God.
of these kids have good parents.
You wanna know what I was stuck on in 5th grade? I could not understand. I didn't know. Like, I understood sex. Like, I understood, oh yes, I know what sex is. But I didn't know that women could orgasm. So, like, I
Oh my
just thought
God.
sex was only pleasurable for men, and I would think,
I didn't
like,
know
what
that
is the
sex was.
point?
I didn't know it could be pleasurable. Like, no
Like, I
thought. I
was
found out
like,
what sex was from Wattpad.
yeah. That's how I found out women could orgasm from Wattpad.
Wattpad.
I was like,
Wattpad
what?
is every
Yeah.
preteen
Yeah.
gateway into sex.
Yeah. But like I was like, what is the point of sex for women? Like it only benefits men. Like men, it's pleasurable for them. They don't have to get pregnant from it. Like what is the point for women?
Why do we do this? What is the goal here?
I'm like, why even
Why do you participate in
why
this?
participate in sex if we can't orgasm
Who
and
gave
just
you-
have the burden of
Wait.
a baby?
Who gave you the idea that it was only pleasurable for men? Like, where did that come from?
I don't know. Because men orgasm like visually, like it comes out of them.
Like, like it's TV?
I don't know. I think I found out that it like shoots out of them, whereas women, it's like internal.
I actually know. I found out what sex was from episode, the app Episode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think that came before Wattpad. I was playing Episode, and then it was like this mafia guy and this like random girl who was kidnapped by the mafia,
Oh, of
and then
course.
they
Classic.
quote did the deed, and I was like, oh, they did the deed. That's a thing. That's it. I'm adding that to my vocabulary. Like, you know when toddlers hear a word used for the first time, and they just are like, okay, so that's how people talk. So
Yeah.
for like the next year, I just referred to sex as doing the deed.
Wow. Okay. That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyways,
This
that's how we
podcast
got
is
our
secretly
sex
just us
education.
embarrassing ourselves about our misconceptions about
Is it?
sex
It's
as
not
a
our
kid.
fault though.
It's not our fault. It's really funny.
Like, I never got the talk. I had to figure it all out by myself.
My
That's-
parents didn't give me the talk until we were learning it in school. But at that point, it was like, well, we already learned it in school, so why are we here?
I think maybe
And then
because
they
wanted to teach it their way.
But they still didn't really give me the talk. They were just kind of like, so you learned this thing in school? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay. I don't know. I don't remember. I think I blocked it out, maybe.
Same with periods. Like, when I got my period, thankfully I got it, like, in the summer and not during school. That would be terrifying. But, like, my mom was just like, yeah, this happens once a month for a week, and then that's it.
Until you
And
die.
I'm like, okay, and? Like, what else comes with this? And I just had to, like, figure it out through the internet. What else comes with a period? And it's horrible.
Spoiler alert. Bad things come with the period.
Bad things. Sometimes to the point where you can't even get out of bed.
I
It
am
just
winning
hurts
life
so
because
bad.
I do not have periods.
Fuck
Get
you.
on my level.
Give
You
me
know, if
some
you
of
went
your
on testosterone, you could solve all of your problems. Who was your favorite character?
My favorite character was the kindergartners.
My favorite character was the girl who talks a lot and the boy who has the weird voice.
What would you rate this movie?
I would give this movie 3.7.
A what?
3.7.
3.7.
3.6.
I'll give it like a 2.9. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of Telly Talk. We have 30 other episodes that you could go listen to as well. You should definitely go listen to those. And you should also subscribe and like and comment down below what other movies you want us to...
If you want to listen to a
Podcast.
podcast about another kids movie that's kind of an adult movie, you should check out Paranorman.
subscribe and go follow us on Twitter
Bye.
and TikTok.
We
Goodbye.
are funny on Twitter. We say things that are funny, and if you follow us, I'll give
Yeah.
you a little pat on the head.
Yeah, we'll give you a fat smooch.
I won't be doing that, but you can give
I
them
will.
all the fat
Second
smooches.
round of
Okay.
fat smooches.
So we'll be giving away smooches that are fat for free if you
Fat
just click the
smooches.
follow button.
You gotta listen to the end for the special comments that you
Fuck
never
you.
know.
Bye, guys.
We could be giving away like $1,000 and nobody would ever know.
No one would ever know. I wish we had $1,000.
I do too. I wish my bank account's literally empty.
Bye.
Bye.